news for Northamptonshire. BBC Northampton.
Well, turning our way again from travel to sport here on BBC Northampton this afternoon, 17 minutes past 3, and to the fortunes, good or bad, or otherwise, of Kettering Town Football Club, because the Poppies have been closely followed by many a fan over the years, but one man who's made a special study is with me this afternoon. Mel Hopkins has spent hours and hours, or perhaps that should be years and years, researching, collating filings and writings, and still it seems there is more to do. So what is it about the Poppies which captivates him? Well, we'll find out because he's with us now. Thanks for coming in, Mel.
Good afternoon.
Very nice to see you. Well, that would be my first question then. What's so captivating about the Poppies for you?
Well, I heard you earlier that you said that the Poppies are struggling a little bit at the moment, but tut tut.
Oh dear.
No, we're doing well at the moment. Now, if I'd have come in about a month ago, yes, we was in the relegation position.
Yeah.
But the last 6 games, we've won 4, drawn 2. So they're playing all right at the moment.
Pulling up a little bit.
Pulling up.
Well, I shouldn't say and get facts incorrect, should I, in front of the club historian who knows just about everything there is.
Well, what started was about 15 years ago, I came across this article which says a club has recently been formed in Kettering. This was 1872, and I thought strange because they'd just had a 100th anniversary of the club. With 1876 they put the club as being formed. So I thought 1872,
Something's amiss here.
That's not quite right. And it started from there, and then I started reading all the newspapers and reading all about the club. And then I suppose I turned into an Anorak, and I got every single game the Kettering have played, going back to 1872. Every single player, every result, every single thing that's been written about the Poppies, I just wrote down. So then I thought it would make a good book. Now this has become a little bit of a joke, I think, with some of my colleagues. They keep saying, "When's this book going to come out? When's this book?" But I'm waiting for Kettering to win the league. If I wrote a book now, it would be like doing a book without the final chapter. If they win. Oh, sorry. When we win the league next year.
That's right. Be optimistic about it.
Yes. So it's on hold at the moment, and but it's not just Kettering I'm interested. It's just football in general. Because while I was writing down the notes of Kettering, I also did every other single club in the county. So I've got a record of every club in the county, when they were formed, and the leagues they played in, and how it all started. So I thought that would probably make a better book at the moment, to do how the history of football in Northamptonshire, how it started. Yeah,
and then you've got even more of a hope that any one of them might be doing quite well at the time, haven't you?
Yes. Well, this is a good year. 1897 was
Cobblers centenary.
The Cobblers centenary.
Yeah. Now, can we be absolutely certain that it is? If you found out that Kettering has lost 4 years somewhere along the line.
The present club, it is the centenary, but there were 2 other association clubs before the present Cobblers, but they both folded.
Right.
Because Northampton was a rugby town. And they folded just through lack of support, because the public did not take to association football. It was rugby. So yes, that is true. Yes, they can celebrate. Actually, they played their first game on the 4th of September 1897, and that was exactly the same day that Kettering was playing on the Rockingham Road ground, which also celebrates their 100th anniversary.
So the Rockingham Road ground,
the football ground. Yes, they started playing that because they'd played on two other grounds before Rockingham Road.
Yeah. Oh, so, let's scribble that down for one of our celebrations to share with BBC Northampton. So the 4th of September
1897, the Cobblers played their first. It was a friendly, actually, on the militia ground. I think it was on the racecourse. and Kettering was playing on the same day on their Rockingham Road ground, so that's cause for celebration on that day.
We should have to decide which venue we're going to go to then on that particular date, I reckon. I'm glad, in a sense, that you kind of described yourself as an Anorak there. I know Anorak's Corner as well is part of the column that you contribute to in the Poppies magazine. I mean, do people rib you for it, Mel, a bit?
Well, I suppose they do, but if no one's got the answers, there's no point in asking the questions, is there? So, yes, I suppose you do get ribbed a little. As long as you don't get too boring, I think that's the trouble.
That's it. But when you've got fascinating facts to come up with, which you have to have tucked up there,
yes.
do you just have a sponge for a brain? Is that what it is?
Well, yes,
Just keep
yes,
going.
I do like football, I must admit, I do like football.
Yeah.
But the earlier years were very, very interesting. They're just made interesting reading because nothing is new today. People talk about violence today on the football, but it wasn't like that years ago. It was like that years ago. Many a game was stopped through players fighting and...
Really?
Actually, it
players
was
fighting rather than fans, or...
Oh, no, it was... No, yes. Kettering played Millwall in the Luton Charity Cup, and Millwall supporters today are supposed to have the reputation of being the worst supporters in the country.
Ripping seats and all this, yeah.
They learnt it all from Kettering.
Oh, dear.
Because a Kettering supporter was sent off, and the referee sent him off, and at the end of the game, all the Kettering supporters ran on to lynch the referee. 200 thugs, as the local paper put it. So the team was banned for 2 weeks at the start of the following season. I mean, this is in 1891.
Oh, crikey. I think that's one claim to fame we probably want to forget about almost, don't we?
Yes, but Kettering has got many claim to fame as far as first is concerned. We're the oldest club in the county, formed in 1872, so that's 125th anniversary of that also this year. We're the first to enter the FA Cup. We're the first professional club south of Birmingham. We're the first south of Birmingham to play in any football league. So, yes, there are many, many firsts. We've scored more goals than any other club in the country in the FA Cup. Can you believe that?
I really just can't understand that, because was there a particular time when Kettering was going through many, many more rounds than it does now in the FA Cup?
Well,
because
yes.
Surely you can only have amassed so many goals if you've played in so many matches.
Well, you've hit the nail on the head there. Being a non-league club, you have to start sometimes from the qualifying rounds, which the league clubs only come in at round 3. So yes, they have played more rounds, yes. But even so, other non-league clubs could be in the same position. But no, Kettering had the list.
6 ahead of Aston Villa.
Correct.
And they're not in it anymore, are they? So we're all right for this season.
We're all right for this season.
As long as Aston Villa keep getting knocked out early, we shall
Right.
be all right.
Yes.
Do you remember your first Kettering game that you went to see?
I do.
What was that? What sort of an occasion was that?
It was a very snowy day. Tommy Lawton had been signed, my generation's football hero. So we all trogged along to Rockingham Road, and I think it was February 1956. We lost 2-1, but it didn't matter because just seeing Tommy Lawton was enough. As schoolboys, we all ran onto the pitch at the end of the game trying to get his autograph. But
what kind of a fellow was he?
Marvellous. As a footballer, he was... And Jack Froggatt, probably these names don't mean a lot. Probably you've never heard of these
Eddie
people,
McGoldrick means a bit more to me than...
Yes, he started
the more recent one.
He started his career at Kettering, yes. Yes, 2 or 3 seasons I think he had with Kettering. But I've amassed 1,195 players who have played for Kettering.
Crikey. Who's
Plus-
had... Go on, sorry.
Plus 194 who only played one game.
I was just going to say shortest and longest careers. Who's the
longest was Roger Ashby, 662 appearances in that's every single game, and the shortest career. Now, I've forgotten his name at the moment, But it's so easy to forget because he lasted 23 seconds and didn't even touch the ball.
Oh, no.
He came on as a substitute.
Yeah.
23 seconds of the game left, didn't touch the ball. But his name goes down as
Yeah.
appearing for Kettering.
Got a Kettering cap, a Poppies cap.
Yes.
23 seconds. Crikey. What about, like, fastest goals and all that sort of thing? I mean, I think of Stuart Pearce's own goal when we played... Which tiny little piddly island in Italy was it we played in the World Cup? I can't think.
Oh, yes.
The glass-making place.
The fastest goal is at Rockingham Road.
Is
would you
it?
believe? The fastest goal ever scored was at Rockingham Road. Yes, I think 4.5 seconds, I think it was.
Lord.
And the fastest hat-trick was scored at Rockingham Road. I think 3 goals in 2 minutes. But that was it. Don't go in the record books, I don't think, because it appeared during the wartime, during the Second World War. Oh yes, it's a lot. It's all happened at Kettering.
If you could have been around in any one particular period, perhaps that you've missed of it all, Mel, is there one that you would like to have
The
seen?
beginning of this century, we were playing the likes of Arsenal, Spurs, the Queen's Park Rangers. None of them were in the Football League at the time. They was all in the Southern League, and Kettering was in the Southern League. So this was the peak, the pinnacle of Kettering's history, I
Top
should
flight.
say. Yes.
Yeah.
But there wasn't enough chimney pots, the local paper put in Kettering, to support a team. When you consider the populations of the clubs who I've just said, and the population of Kettering, which was about 10,000 at the time, with the gates they were getting, they just couldn't survive. So they was relegated. Well, they didn't relegate. They came out. They resigned from the league and just went into Northampton League.
Did it work in all the same divisions that we would think of now? You know, with, well, obviously not Premier, but first to fourth and all that sort of thing, or has that been a recent addition?
First of all, are we talking about like the Cobblers did?
Well, yes. Well, not necessarily consecutively, but
first
just,
and
yeah,
back
back
to
again, didn't they? And all
Fourth,
that.
but no, Kettering's always been in the top flight as far as non-league football's concerned. It's just the fact that we're still waiting to get into the Football League. You have to feel sorry for the Kettering supporters. We've had so many ups and downs, so many the club is going to fold situations, and we just hang on in there, and then a certain other club down the road.
Oh. Careful.
Careful. Yes, a lot of radios will be switched off, I think, with listening to me gloat over Kettering at the moment, I think.
Oh. Has it been... Oh, God, I'm going to have to mention them now. I mean, is it a help or a hindrance that our R&D are up there in the Vauxhall Conference? There's a little bit of sort of local Northamptonshire support.
Personally, oh dear, a lot of Kettering supporters, I think, if you hear the result at the end of the game when you hear Diamonds have lost and the big cheer goes up, but I think that's the same at the Diamonds ground if they hear Kettering lost. So
Yeah.
it is the
Local
same.
rivalry,
But it's
isn't it?
local rivalry.
It's
You
Everton
see,
and Liverpool,
it's
isn't it?
25 years since we had a local derby in the county. That's 1971-72 season when we played Corby and Wellingborough in the old Southern League. So 25 years is a long time without a local derby. So it's nice to have a club, as long as we finish above them. That's the point.
You be careful. It'll our Diamonds
Oh, well,
switched
we're
on.
going to this season.
Ooh. Mel, do they wear Northamptonshire boots? I was just thinking about the cobblers, the cobblers that we've got in Northamptonshire, not the footballers, but the
Don't
the
know.
makers. It'd be nice to
now
think
you've
it
got
was
me.
Northamptonshire leather, wouldn't it?
It would, yes.
Yeah. And has the strip always been the same, too?
No. We first started out with blue and white strip. And because the club, in 1871, the club was a rugby club. That's one thing I found out, that every single club in the county started off as a rugby club. That's Northampton, Wellingborough, Kettering, Raunds, Desborough, Rothwell. They all started out as a rugby club and then changed rules to association. That's what Kettering did. They started out as a rugby club until 1879. Then there was an association club and a rugby club for the next 10 years. When they dropped the rugby, they dropped the blue and white strip and took on a chocolate and salmon pink strip.
Don't like the
They
sound
must
of
have
that
looked
one.
lovely.
Mel, can you stay with us for a little bit longer?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Because we have to take a break for the news headlines just at the moment, but we've barely even started talking about club history and the book and everything still to cover. And I think I'm right in saying you still need a little bit of help with a certain period of the game. So Mel Hopkins is my special guest this afternoon, Kettering Town's club historian, and we'll have more from him very shortly. But on 104.2 and 103.6 FM, your news is our news on BBC Northampton.